Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Princess, SoundCloud, SoundClick. Haven't shaved. Haven't shaved. Focus. Let's get focused. Let's get. Let's get. Let's get focused, people. Yo, yo, this is another excerpt of the NFL is fixed, but so the Raiders, the LA Raiders, are moving to Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders. I'm gonna tell you something. Whenever I think of Las Vegas, all I think of is how those mobsters went in there and took over Vegas, and just the gambling is. I mean, it's fixed gambling. I think about anything that happens in Vegas is just crazy. Didn't Tupac get shot in Vegas? Mike Tyson fight? I think that boxing is, if it's in Vegas, it's fake. The boxers aren't fake. Getting hit in the mouth is not fake, but the fights are fixed. I think Merriweather's fights are fixed. Were fixed. So I don't ever want to see him fight again. Although he does have some true skill, but as far as the NFL is concerned, I was listening to this guy. He was basically talking about how the GM didn't show up at any meetings. And he was basically saying that Raiders fans were showing up and they were buying these season tickets and they didn't get any of their money back on these season tickets. And he said they were coming, he said even the ones that were coming from far and wide. But I'm going to play some of what he said. Okay. Turn this guy up a little bit. Because this guy is crying like he's in tears. So let me cut this music off. And just listen to some of this commentary, what he says. Come on, guys, spill it out. He's composing himself.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna excuse you, bro. Okay, let's get into it.
5:30 and Raider fans across the world. And along the way, with our passion in the community of Oakland and our Oakland Raiders, we all began a mission. And I've been fortunate that many of us took me on maybe as your leader. If I'm going to be here through the good times, I have to be here through the tough times. And I'm not crying just because we lost our beloved Raiders. But as I speak right now, all of the family and friends that I have made through this journey is insurmountable, and you cannot put a price tag on it.
No, you can't. Let's get into
it. It is only fair and right for me to be able to come on through the good times, but also season ticket wait list.
All right.
A sacrifice. We pick up a second job to go see our Raiders.
Right.
During an 0-10 season in the middle of the rain, many of us packed up in the rain and filled the Coliseum. The following year, we sold out and are now currently on 20,000 season ticket wait list. During that time, Mark Davis has said that he wanted to stay in Oakland, but he never spent a dime in Oakland. Mark uses the excuse that the city of Oakland raised the rent on him. Had Mark Davis raised the cheapest tickets in the league by $10, Mark Davis would have been able to pay the increased rent and come out with a $3 million profit in his pocket. While many of us went to city council meetings, environmental impact report meetings, exclusive negotiating agreement meetings, Measure BB, which included $90 million of infrastructure, Mark Davis and the Oakland Raiders were never present at any of these meetings, while many of us took time off of our daily routine on a Tuesday night to help and fight keep the Raiders here in Oakland.
Okay.
Is Mayor Libby Schaaf, Mayor Gene Kwan, and the other politicians Do they bear some fault? Absolutely, they do. But we do not elect officials to build billion-dollar stadiums. We elect officials to take care of our roads and our police department.
All right, let's. Okay, so with this information, just this, I haven't even looked up, which I'm gonna do right now. Why did Oakland Raiders leave LA? I'm gonna look that up, but just speaking on what he's talking about, inevitable, understanding, hypocritical, so people are bad. Just speaking on what he's talking about. So he was talking about, okay, so he went into the season tickets, right? So what he was doing was saying that if you took the estimated sales of the season tickets, and you said, okay, you have these people who are annually buying the tickets, because if it's season tickets it's annually, who are annually buying these tickets, and they're doing and they're faithful to the Raiders, meaning it's not going to fall off 3 or 4 years from now, even if they get bad. And now let's look at this. He was talking about when they were 0-10 a season. He said they bought season tickets, and so many people bought season tickets. Okay, boom. Last year, according to the AFC records, they were 12-4. They were tied with the Chiefs. They beat the Broncos and the Chargers. Okay, 12-4 is a damn good record. So, okay, and this is one reason why they're really pissed off, because, things is happening for them. Okay, so when you take the fact that the good times and the bad, we were still buying tickets, we were faithful to buy tickets. Now the good times is popping off, and now y'all want to leave, and y'all don't want to try to stay here. When we look at the economics of everything, he's saying that if you raise the tickets and charged us, the fans, $10 more, and people who are annually buying these tickets, he was looking at those numbers. So he was just doing some guesstimated math, I guess what you can say. But here's the thing. A team does not only make their money off of ticket sales, and a team does not only pay for the things that we know. There's a whole underbelly of the NFL that is not so much told to the people, because it's a corporation, it's a business, and with any business, there's just a lot more to it than just meets the eye. So I'm going to take a stab at it and say that, one, they really didn't want to be there anymore, uh, uh, for various reasons, but I'm gonna say that moving to Vegas was a financial move that would cost the team less uh, per year, uh, and they already took into account the season ticket sales. So when you look at it like this, and it's just me just taking a stab at it, just taking a guess at it. So you Oakland fans, you're more than welcome to chime in. This is your city. I don't claim to know anything. I'm just looking at it in a business sense, because I keep telling you guys, the NFL don't care about you. This guy is crying. You think they care? No. They do not care about you. Not to mention, LA already has a team. Don't you guys have the Los Angeles Rams? You guys have a team, right? Okay. So Vegas doesn't have a football team that I know of. So that's one thing. You guys are probably going to have to gravitate towards the Rams, even though they don't have the same electricity that the Raiders have. There's a reason why the Raiders are the Raiders. They have always been the grimiest team in the league. Their owner was grimy. I mean, these guys were into some stuff. I mean, the Raiders fans have always been aggressive and radical, and I'm not saying all of you. I'm saying the majority of the time you go to a Raiders game, something's going to pop off. You know what I'm saying? They just had that reputation. They had that energy. And some people can call it passion, but when a guy is pulling out a knife and stabbing people, I'm not going to say that that's passion. Passion is when you're showing up at the game, buying season tickets, screaming for your losing team. Okay, I get that. That's passion. Passion is not beating people up, every time the opposite fans show up at your, so on and so forth. I'm not saying it always happens. I'm saying Raiders have a reputation of that. Okay, so getting back to the finances of everything, I'm assuming that because the rent was raised on them, they moved to Vegas. Now, moving to Vegas, I'm assuming that the rent is going to be cheaper there. But here's what I'm looking at. When you move to Vegas and that money starts coming in, because right now you have season ticket holders, so you know how much money that's bringing in. But then you have the people who are going to gravitate to the games, who are not season ticket holders, and that number fluctuates. It actually fluctuates pretty much upon your winning or losing. Let's just say the Broncos. Let's just say that the Broncos and the Raiders are neck and neck. So you're bringing people away from Denver. You know that they're going to show up if they're neck and neck and in a playoff game. That's going to be a huge game. You're going to have a bunch of people show up. But if the Broncos are not in the playoffs, let's say that you know, they've only won like 6 games or whatever that record would be, 6 and whatever. It's like you're not going to get all the fans. That's what I'm saying. When you look at that fluctuating revenue and you're guesstimating how much that's going to bring into the city, even with that, uh, uh, what I think is going to happen, and this is just hyperbole, is eventually they're going to see how much the Raiders are bringing in or not bringing in, and they're going to raise the rent according to that. In other words, that they're going to have the same problem that they do now. I know that I took a long time to get around it, but I wanted to bring some things to light so the Raiders fans or anybody else can go, okay, and chime in and say, okay, well, let's look at the numbers. Because when you look at what the team made last year, which I don't know what that number is, when you start guessing what the team made last year and then how much they paid out, you can start getting some dividends and start getting some numbers, and it'll bring forth some clarity on why they actually made that move, because it had nothing to do with the people, because they had season ticket holders. It had nothing to do with the team itself, because last year they were 12-4. You see what I mean? This is beyond. This is business, is what it is. It's beyond the people. Has nothing to do with how faithful the people are. That's why I keep telling you that. Like it's no. There's no love for the people. Like it has nothing to do with the people. So this guy crying, it's like I feel bad for him because he poured money and passion. He was talking about how he had worked 2 jobs just to get these tickets. He was passionate about that. But the fact of the matter is your passion means absolutely nothing to these people. Not one damn bit. That's just that. It's all business. And the only way you're really going to find out what the deal is and who's going to make the most amount and how they are going to make that amount is you got to start looking at all the angles. You got to start looking at who's waiting on them in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Who are the deal makers that you don't know about? And you could probably dig them up, but who are those deal makers? How much do they stand to make over a 10-year process? What is the contract to stand in Vegas? Because it's going to be a contract. It's not just like I'm going to throw up a stadium and I'm going to be here forever, because it just doesn't work like that. It's going to be under contract. You also got to understand the clash between the LA Rams and the LA Raiders. See, you're dividing the pie. Now, LA is big enough to do that, obviously, or there wouldn't have been no success. But nonetheless, you don't think that the Rams had something to do with this? You crazy. They had a lot to do with it. A whole lot. Yeah. Because now they're thinking they're going to get that money and go ahead and fill that, I'll tell you what. Let's look at what the LA Rams record was last year. Let's look at this. What was the LA Rams record last year?
These are last season's standings for the NFC West.
Okay, that's kind of loud, Siri. Okay, so the NFC West has the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the 49ers. Okay, so you're looking at the Rams, they were 7-9. They were 7-9 last year. Okay. And the Raiders were 12-4. I guarantee you, you guys look, I guarantee you that within the next 2 years, that this 7-9 is gonna turn on its head. It's gonna be 12-4 in for the Rams. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. What's going to happen is they're going to draft people to or pick people to come to the LA Rams who might have been looking at the Raiders. You got to understand, the Raiders to me are. I mean, I don't want to say that and be offensive, but it's how I feel. It's like when players are getting ready to leave the NFL, they get signed on to the Raiders, and that's the last team a lot of them were playing for. It's not like they're not garbage. Obviously, if they're 12-4, they're not garbage. But they were kind of like bottom feeders. They was just like, hey, I'll take him. See what he can do. Give him, he's 35. Let him do this for his last, year. You know what I'm saying? Treat him like they did Terry Crew. Terry Crew played for 9. Terry Crew, the actor, he played for 9 different teams before he left. 9. He was under 1-year contracts. I mean, just imagine that. Every year you're going to play for another team. 9 different teams. And I just think that the Raiders have, a habit of picking up players who are on their way out and then using them and then, or playing them and then, they're out of the league. And it's like all fine and well. I don't know if they're giving them, lower, if they're saying, okay, this is your last chance to do something. We know you're too old, you're on your way out. We're going to give you this much money. I think that's actually what it is. We're going to give you so many, $500,000, when you were getting 18 million, we're going to give you $500,000. Do you want it or not? And they're going to say, hell yeah, because nobody else is picking me. So I'm telling you now that this number for the Rams is going to turn over on its head. The Rams are going to have a winning season within the next 2 years. Word to Eric Dickerson, it's going to happen. Plus, they just got rid of Jeff Fisher, didn't they? They fired Jeff Fisher. I'm telling you right now that the Rams are going to have a winning season, and they're going to make a run for the playoffs within the next 3 years, if not sooner. I'm telling you, and this is all going to be because the Raiders have moved. Now, some of you can say, "Nah, you're wrong." But I'm telling you, the Rams have a direct effect on what happened to Oakland, to the Raiders. And you guys can say I'm wrong, but we'll see what happens. It's your boy Tone 202. The NFL is fixed, but nobody told the Raider fans.